What's up, everybody? Shawn and Tom here with another live Live to Roll bonus show for you. It's the fifth Thursday of the month, so there's only a few of those during the year. So we're trying just to add in some bonus shows, so we do fill in the content for the whole Monday through Thursday. So we're just gonna hang out, kind of like we did on Tuesday, kind of just open discussion, Q&A. If you guys have anything you want to bring up, want to talk about, drop it in the chat. Let us know, and we'll do our best to give you our, opinion and or what we think about it, and let you know. So, like I said, I'm Shawn. I'm a C5, C6 quadriplegic from a snowboarding accident 20 years ago now, and living in SoCal, staying out in Joshua Tree right now on a little bit of a vacation, honeymoon vacation. Tom.
Ooh, what's up? What's up, Donna? What's up, the rest of the people? I am Tom Conaway. I'm a C6B quadriplegic for the last 26, going on 27 years. Coming at you from SoCal right now, experiencing some really low blood pressure.
Are you?
I don't know why, but yeah. Um, so just a fair warning, I feel like I get kind of slow. Or at least like my speaking and stuff can feel a little slow when I'm like really. So I apologize if that's how I come across. I'm gonna try to pep up. I'm gonna try to get that blood flow going, get my BP up. Um, but yeah, happy to be here on a little bonus show with you guys.
Yeah, man. That's
Yeah,
same deal
really,
with BP too.
I know. I was gonna say it's gonna be the race to see which quad passes out first, Shawn or Tom. Um, We could talk about that a little bit though. Did
Yeah, no,
you?
that's definitely a good one.
Why are you feeling low? I just ate some food. I had some errands to run, and I went to Sprouts, and I got like a little sandwich and a drink, and I rushed home to get here for the show, and I scrunched real quick, and then hopped right on. And usually, right after I eat, I can experience like pretty heavy low. Is that true for you, Shawnee boy?
Yeah, that definitely is true for me as well. Um, every time I eat, I'll get like what sucks is a lot of times if I wait too long to eat, I'm already a little bit low to start eating. And then once I start eating, that blood pressure low sets in from eating. So it's like this double edged sword where it's just like, but you have to get it in you, like, or you're gonna just be super weak and low. So it's like a lot of times I will try to start with like a soda or like a sugary like kind of thing that's gonna get into my system kind of quick, reverse that first low, and then let the food hit the second one. But no, that's definitely, dude. Like every time I eat, like probably 5 minutes into eating, I'll start to get my low, and then after, I definitely will be low for a while. And if I rush my eating, same thing, bro. Like I can sometimes I'll rush it, get through most of it without getting that low, and then right at the end, it's just like complete crash of like BP and yeah.
So, to my knowledge, this is kind of how I mitigate it. One, I'm doing my quad leans to like, I don't know why or how that helps, but it does kind of, at least like with feeling like the blood pressure. I think it's something to do with like circulation, blood, I don't know. But the way I can combat that while I'm eating is I eat slow. Sometimes I'll take a couple bites, put my food down, chill out for a couple minutes, take a couple more bites, chill out for a few more minutes, and just eat really slow. When Shawn is describing already feeling low by the time you get into your food, it's really, really best to try to avoid that. Like that's like hypoglycemia. It's like your like low blood sugar, like affecting you and your body going into like emergency mode, like desperate hunger. Like we need to put something in our bellies right now. And that sugar can metabolize quick to energy and translate to like feeling okay, but it's not good because it's very short lasting and not the kind of energy that our body really needs, which is like real food. So chowing on breakfast bars and Nutri-Grain bars and things like that. I found are really easy snacks to help me in the morning. You know, choke something down. For some reason, eating in the morning can be kind of tough for me sometimes, but I can usually get down a breakfast bar, give me some nutrients, some calories, some things that I need to get me to that afternoon meal so I'm not showing up to it already feeling low. And it can also help mitigate this kind of low blood pressure feeling I get afterwards, I think, too. So just feed your body, people, and time your food right. And
That's it.
don't go by my example.
So that's it. We were actually just talking about that. I was talking with Leah because I do get that like so often, and she was talking about like maybe like we literally made a burger and chili cheese fries for lunch right now, which was delicious, but maybe too much. So it's like maybe next time I'm gonna eat like half the burger, part of like like do a little bit smaller portions, but then eat again in like a couple of hours so that I'm not getting that glycemic low like I'm trying to figure out a way to balance that, like, because dude, it is hard. It's like, especially if you do eat just a couple big meals a day, because that that'll happen too sometimes. If you're out, if you're doing things, you're busy. Like I will get that every time. I will get way low because I will get very hungry, start to get weak and low, and then eat a big old meal because I'm hungry and I gotta get feed my body, and then get the huge drop, and then like eat like a second meal later on, and just end up getting the same like drop like pretty much
Yeah.
like every time. So like I'm trying to see if maybe small meals through the day I can stay somewhat level, where maybe I'm still getting a little bit of the ups and downs, but they're just smaller, and easier to manage.
Staying staying nutrient and like calorie balance throughout the day, I think is like crucial and imperative. Not overdoing it all at once with like a big meal and like not, starving yourself in between. I do kind of do that intermittent fasting thing because it does have some benefits, like way of my how I manage my care and stuff like that. But I try to approach it in as healthy way as possible. I really like taken a big effort to like shop groceries too much. I also eat healthy snacks and things like that. Not a lot of chips, a lot of like rice cakes, things like that. And just feed my body the right stuff, take my vitamins, do that kind of thing, and see if that has an effect too. Just like give it all the nutrients that it needs. Don't starve it out. I think that's a big thing. But yo, shout out Leon. What up, Ken? We got our buddy Ben in the chat. Also, wheelchair raver, my homie
Yeah, I got
Luke.
a question.
Um, how are you, Luke? Hope you're well, dude. Maybe we can game on some Fortnite after this show, if you want. But Luke's joined us on the gaming a couple of times and is an awesome dude. And yeah, let's. You want to take the crack at it first, Shawnee boy?
Yeah, so the most important thing to do to live as long as possible with a spinal cord injury, I feel like, is really just managing your health. Um, I mean, I'm sure there might be some really other things, but like eating healthy, eating right, and staying active. Don't let yourself get completely sedent where you're not doing anything, you're in bed constantly. Like if you have a sore infection, anything like that, understand you have to do what you have to do to heal. But if you are able to get up, move, try to do a little bit of physical activity during the day. You don't have to kill yourself in working out and stuff, but just get yourself moving, get your blood flowing, and I think a good diet and healthy, like trying to eat right and feed your body the right nutrients, is probably my best advice on that in my opinion. That's what I've always done. I honestly hate going to the doctors and hospitals and having to have procedures and things. So even since I was young, my whole thing was like, all right, well, if I try to eat remotely healthy, like I might not be the complete health nut and eating crazy healthy, but I'm not like just eating crazy unhealthy, like extremely greasy, fatty things. Like I'll try to balance. Like if I know I am eating a bigger, greasier meal, I'll maybe balance it with something lighter in the day. For me personally, so that's always kind of just been health and nutrition. Like I just feel like is such a big part of it with anybody, but with spinal cord injury, I feel like the staying sedent thing is like a really big part. It's like make sure you're active and you're not getting just stuck. So, but what about you, Tom? What do you think? Or what would your
Yeah, I mean, I'd say like those are the obvious things.
yeah
Obviously, keep yourself healthy, balance your care effectively and meaningful way. Ensure that you maintain, a certain quality of health, quality of life, and that means like certain level of activity too. Um, Beyond that, I think there's some important things too. Um, your our brains are our best friend and our worst enemy. I think it's really important to set goals for yourself. I think it's really important to take care of yourself mentally, whatever that means for you. And that can mean a lot of different things for everybody because we're all so unique and individual. I don't know if saying this is exactly the right way, but finding something to live for, like whether that's your family or your friends or yourself or, being in service to others and, like being of service to humanity or just yourself and taking care of yourself. Um, but that can be part of like having goals and stuff too. Like I, I live to be happy and to feel good, but also to love and support my family, my friends as much as possible, to take care of myself and seek out and do things that I enjoy in life that provide me fulfillment. Stuff like this, speaking to other disabled individuals, doing what I can to contribute to my community and stuff. Those give me a lot of fulfillment. They've like feed my soul. Like that's always what I say. Like whenever this, like it feeds my soul. Like it does something. It feeds me in a way that just taking care of myself nutritionally or physically doesn't. And I think that's super, super important for maintaining like a healthy attitude, like to longevity in life as well, because it gives you reasons to take care of yourself. And I don't know, without those reasons to take care of yourself and without those things, like I can tell you like how easy it is to stop taking care of yourself in a meaningful way. And that without those other components or pieces, it contributes not to our longevity, I think. But
no
does that
you're
make any sense?
no I 100% agree that mental health like like is a huge part of it. If you are in like if you really feel like you have nothing to live for, nothing to get up for, nothing to do, it is hard to get up, be active, to eat, like get yourself to eat healthy, to do things, to take care of yourself and your body. It really does start with the mental health because if you're not there and able to, then it is hard. And what only suggestion I would have is try to lean on support. Like Tom, like you said, like talking on here, like or doing like even like the Triumph support group, stuff like that. Like just being part of the community, talking, hearing others that might be struggling with the same things, being able to like talk to them, talk things out. Um, I think can really benefit you, and that's it's 100% mental health is a huge part of your just overall health. Mental, physical health are one and the same. So
It's easy to get into a funk. It's easy to stay in a funk too, Chair Life.
yeah,
Really good thing to point out. It's actually the hardest thing to pull yourself out of it. And sometimes, I don't know, I feel like I'm dipping in and out of it. Like I feel okay for a day, and then like the next day I wake up and for some reason I don't feel okay, and um, continuing to find the strength and the ability to pull yourself up and out of it, to keep yourself up and out of it as much as possible, to ask for help or get yourself help or do whatever it is to do. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of effort. It's really important work, and it's really important effort, and it's as much as important as eating a healthy diet or as getting regular activity and exercise and stuff. Like it is work, it is effort, and it's super important to do. And sometimes that work and effort is rewarding and it feels good too because like it's not always the easiest thing to get on here and talk, but I always feel better afterwards.
Yeah.
And like I always push myself too because it helps me by like talking to you guys and reading the comments and hanging with Shawn and Bobby and the crew and stuff. It helps me in a lot of ways, but it's still not always an easy thing to do. Like um, you know, ice cream's not always the healthiest for you, but sure, it makes put a smile on my face. It makes me feel good, So like doing things like that are okay too, um, and finding like just a healthy balance in life. And I don't know, I feel like I say that all the time, but um, it's just so super important to being okay and keeping yourself up. And and what I found too is like it's totally cool to be down on people. It's just a part of life. Um, it it just don't let it define you. Don't let yourself stay there. And it's just so much easier said than done. But it's really important to try to do.
No, it is. And Chair Life actually had a comment. It's seasonal. It's also seasonal, I think, and that can play effects. If I mean, sometimes when it's cold, different things like the seasons can affect your, your mental state, your well-being, like just how you view things. I know a lot of people in the winter and the cold months do get a little bit more into depression than in the summer months, and when you can be out more and perk up more. So can be all those things. And I feel like if you're having a rough time day, um, I think it's totally fine to take that day. Like if you wake up and you're just like, this today sucks. Like I feel like crap. I'm not like everything like is just bothering you mentally, physically, one of the other, both, whatever it is. Um, I think it's totally okay to just take that day and be like, I need a day for myself. Like, if you need to, whatever can help you heal, like if it is an ice cream bar, if it is calling somebody, if it is just, something, maybe a movie that you just love that, picks you up every time you see it, or so, anything you can kind of do something like that.
Or all of the above, and
Or
whatever
all
that
of
is
the,
for you. I always call it like my algorithm to like feeling better. It's just like a bunch of different ingredients that I all put together and like surround myself with things that make me feel good until I do actually start to feel better. And uh, sometimes it's easier said than done. Like sometimes I feel like shit and I just want to feel like shit. Like I don't even want to feel better. Like I feel so crappy. Like don't even want to try to feel better. I'm gonna just gonna have a pity party. I'm gonna wallow. I'm gonna just like feel like crap. And that's cool too. Sometimes it sometimes don't have all the effort to like even do the things to make myself feel better. Um I'm really lucky to have some dope people in my life that like bug me or text me and call me and don't bug me but bother me in the way that they're checking in on me and making sure I'm not wallowing or that I am actually taking care of myself. And I want to like always take care of myself for my people too, so I want everyone in my life to know that I'm doing good and trying to stay happy and stay functional and as best as I can be. Therapy, I think, is super important. Mr. Juan Elizares, love you, dude. Happy you're here, man. I had therapy this morning. I've been doing therapy for like the last 8 weeks. It's been a positive thing in my life. Something that I was kind of against for a long time. I don't know why. I just was kind of biased against the idea of like talking to a stranger and expecting them to be able to help me. But that was like kind of a selfish way of looking at it. And also like I was like railing against positive mental health in some ways, like instead of actively pursuing things that might actually help me, at least giving them a try. Because there's really only one way to know. And I found that it was great. And it's been great talking to someone, and that's really mostly what it is. You know, y'all know I'm a chatty Cathy. I can just talk, 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 talk. Um, it's nice talking to somebody who has my interests in art, who is kind of third party to my family and my friends and other people in my life, so I could just get kind of that third party perspective, which I think is super important sometimes. And he's given me some cool tools to help manage my anxiety, like my depression, stress, and some other forces in my life that are hard to control and that I felt very powerless to control. So something to consider, I think too, and I think a really good point to bring up. Lean on your community, right? Like you live to roll fam, but also wherever you are, really highly encourage you to reach out to your wheelchair people. They can be the best support, right, Shawn?
Yeah, no, honestly, it really is the best support. And like even like you said, sometimes we have had, especially we've been doing the show for uh, almost a few years now. We've been going regularly, and there are days that you're not going to wake up every single Tuesday feeling or Thursday feeling great and like you're just ready to get it, like and just like. But sometimes it just I've been having a rough day, not feeling good, either physically or mentally or both, and every time it just uplifts me talking to you guys, talking to the chat. It's just that mental, I don't know, it really does just it's such an uh beneficial like just thing to be a part of, I feel like. And like even with the support groups, like when if we weren't doing a show or whatever and I hopped on one of the Triumph virtual groups or something for a little while, I don't know. There's just something about talking to the community and feeling like you are not in this alone. We're all here together. There's just really something about that helps like so much. It just feels.
Yeah, it always feels easier when you can share the burden with others. You realize you don't got to carry it all yourself, but you're strong enough to shoulder it, I promise. And I know, Share Life brings up an interesting comment too. Like we all must grieve for our loss. Yeah, grief is tough. Loss is really tough, in whatever form that may take. Whether it's losing a part of our physical identity through becoming disabled. For me, I lost a lot of this when I was very young, and I didn't realize and grieve and go through that loss until I was much older. And in some ways, still going through it, still dealing with it because it doesn't really go away. This disability thing hangs around and it's tough. Grief and loss is hard. I think it's very important to not isolate yourself, like we've talked about. Connect with your community, rely on your community. I get inspired by mine, by seeing how strong people are and how they overcome, and also the difficult circumstance some others deal with in comparison to mine. It gives me a lot of perspective and realization. Like, yo, bro, like you live in that life of luxury, dog. Don't even trip about this, little stuff because it's nothing compared to what some other individuals are going through. And that's not even belittling my stuff, but it's just giving me perspective to help me realize like it could be worse. And like you got this, dog. Like you, because I really do. But grief is kind of a lonely war too. Shout out Wolverine. Quoting a little X-Men right there. Um, but but I really think that's true. Like it's like that saying, you can bring a horse to water, you can't make him drink. Like nobody else can heal you. I think only you can heal yourself at the end of the day. I mean, certainly there's people in your life can make it easier and you help the process go along in a smoother way. But, I think really healing comes from within, yourself, and it can be difficult to attain and it can be a lonely fight in attaining that, I think. Um, and that's just tough. Like it's just hard. And I think sometimes it's like time heals, like that saying, time heals. Like there is no other thing that's gonna, make that loss any easier, but time will, because time heals, and like shit, you just gotta fight in the meantime, and endure while that healing process, and don't lose focus or perspective in the meantime at all the blessings and positives in your life. And, you know, push on, baby.
Yeah, exactly. Just you just can't stop or give up and give up hope, give up life, give up. I mean, things are hard for sure, but lean on your community, and we're here for you. What's it? Juan saying? Oops. Hey Tom or Shawn, when you get a chance, I need to get. Oh, whoever has a backlift pump. Neither of us do. The only person I know with a backlift pump um, is Zach Colley, the other YouTuber channel. If you, I don't know how active he is on YouTube anymore, but if you follow Zach Colley, you can message him on Instagram. I know he's pretty good about answering. If you want to reach out to him, he got one like a year or two ago. We actually had him on the show and talked about it. If you want, you can check out that show. Um, I personally have just always been a little bit of afraid of the backlift pump. I'm just really skinny, and I feel like I don't want to put that hockey puck inside of me, and I don't know. It's just a little bit scary for me personally. But yeah, I don't know.
Um,
Do you have much interest?
your your skinny bony ass would be like bulging out of your body.
That's what I feel like it would.
Probably not likely the case. Baclofen pumps are a marvel of modern medicine and technology, and provides life-changing results to individuals that receive it or have received it, in way of delivering a very extremely low dose baclofen to the source of spasticity, and helping mitigate it in a way that doesn't cause severe side effects or rely on you taking extremely large amounts of drugs that you build up a high tolerance to over time. So they can be great. They can be life changing, and they can be very cool. And I think they're perfectly safe, despite
Yeah,
maybe some small risk that come along with them. I really encourage you to go check out that show, Juan. And remember, being super informative. I know that uh, Zach like gave a lot of really great information, and also he had success with it, because he said he had some crazy spasms, and they helped mitigate that in a very significant way. I'd really be interested in getting a check-in as to how it's going a
yeah.
year in. But go check out that show. Yeah, my spasms are just too bad, dude. I feel you, man. Spasms can be tough. And Roy is asking, is that Easy Rider on your shirt? No, it's not. This is a dope show on HBO called Station 11. It's about some thespians, some Shakespeare troupe that travels during the post-apocalypse, and it's sick. Probably one of the coolest shows I've ever watched. Highly recommend it. But that's not really on topic. But no, I'm not that. I'm not that cool, Roy. I'm like kind of niche cool. Um, but but yeah,
Uh,
spasms give me. How do you manage your spasms? You got some crazy spasms, Shawn.
so yeah, and that's a. I honestly had crossed my mind for baclofen pump because at one point I was on a ton of baclofen. Now I honestly do just manage it with I stretch before I get out of bed every morning, which I have to do. I try to stay moving and active. So for me, if I'm in my chair for the whole day, if I'm in my chair up for 12 hours, my spasms are going to get fucking crazy like through the day. There's almost nothing I can really do to regulate them. So one thing that does help is like just transferring in and out of the chair for me. So that whether that's into the couch, whether that's to drive into my car, or just getting into the bed for a little bit just to get the break. Just I don't know, just keeping my legs moving and stretched a little bit seems to help. But also, I used to smoke more for sure. Now I do edibles though, and I do 25 milligram edible in the like morning after I get up. I do another 25 milligram edible in the afternoon, which I did right before the show, like around 3 or so in the afternoon. And then I do like another one before I go to bed, like 25 to 35 or so. So
All
I'm
right,
dosing myself through the day.
Hangout. Willie Nelson up in here, dude. Let's freaking go, baby. Um, I think Wheelchair Raver just asked a really great question. Is marijuana a better alternative than baclofen? I wouldn't say necessarily so. It really depends on your individual person, how you
Mhm.
feel about it. Marijuana is recently unscheduled from being like a more extreme drug to being on par with like alcohol and more like standard stuff. I would say that it's even much healthier than alcohol in the medicinal benefit it can provide, especially in an edible form because smoking is carcinogenic and certainly does have negative health side effects on your respiratory health over time, especially, and that's something to not take too lightly, and to be certainly in consideration of, because it's reality. Um, so it really depends on your individual. I've taken baclofen and I've taken marijuana. I still do marijuana pretty regularly, both smoke it and edibles. Let's go. Um, but I've also had some really, really extreme spasticity where I felt like I couldn't smoke enough weed to mitigate those and to stop them, and where I relied on baclofen to help me with some really severe bladder spasticity that I was having. And um, both of them you build up a tolerance to over time, for weed and for baclofen, meaning the more you do it, the higher dose is required to get the same effect that you rely on. That can be difficult for both drugs, I think, depending. I think it's easier to take a higher dose of baclofen in a pill form because it's just like taking a pill versus like it might increase the health risk of marijuana if you have to smoke it more or take more edibles, like, to get the same effect. Also, there's like the psychoactive component of at least THC, which can be like a cannabinoid that affects you psychoactively. People feel very differently about that. People are affected very differently by that same psychoactive compound. And depending on your lifestyle, your activity, how you function on that kind of stuff, you got to be really safe and really considerate of that. Baclofen would certainly be the better choice if you don't want any psychoactive element or component, but it also comes with its own side effects of drowsiness and,
Yeah,
fogginess that might come along, which also affects you mentally. So again,
they
the
both.
scales here. Uh, Go ahead, Sean.
I was gonna say, yeah, they both have pros and cons. It really does depend on the individual. Um, And like the one thing too, I will say, baclofen you can get through insurance. You can go to your regular doctor, get your prescription done. But also, Ben mentioned in the chat that baclofen burns nerve endings, which I don't know the facts on that or not. If you want to like look it up and do some research on it, I'm not sure what the extent what it does exactly, but uh, yeah, I don't know. That is some extra info there, but and I was gonna say that's the one benefit of the pump though is the increased uh, or your tolerance build with the pump. At least you are doing much lower doses. You're not having to go through your kidneys and stuff to like process all that. So it is maybe better if you are going the baclofen route. So and that is a high dose of edibles for me. I know, but that's also because I have been a regular marijuana smoker for 20 plus years now. So I my tolerance was up already. So like a 5 or a 10 milligram edible doesn't really have much effect on my spasticity. So,
40 or 50, baby, and then we're talking.
well, that's what I actually was doing, like the 50 before night a lot of nights, but I wasn't doing as much during the day. So now I'm trying to just do more of a steady, constant like dose through the day, so that it's not like affecting me too much of on the mental side. I'm not getting high at all from it. I'm literally just, my body is relaxing and just like feels good, lets me go through the day a lot easier. So yeah, that's kind of my thing. Why I have a higher
Um,
dose.
and yeah, Juan, that's. I hope whatever they're gonna give you in June or whatever this trial is they're gonna do, I hope it's effective and I hope it works for you. Because at the end of the day, if it works for you and it provides relief, that's all that matters. And as long as the side effects aren't so significant or detrimental to your health that it's more negative to take the drugs than mitigate the spasticity, then you're winning. And that's all you're trying to do. So I really do hope that it works. Um, we got a question about a sliding board I thought was kind of interesting and good. I know a couple quad homies that use sliding boards still. I used to when I was younger and I like first like trained doing um, transfers. I found it to be an unnecessary step for most transfers nowadays because I can usually just hop the gap using my muscles and just swinging my booty, um, in such a way that I can hop the gap and don't have to worry about like falling in between whatever I'm transferring over, namely my bed. There have been instances where like hotel beds and stuff use a sliding board because I was worried about falling in between my chair and the bed,
Yeah.
and that's like worst case scenario for me. Even in those instances, uh, I've used it once, realized I didn't need it. I still own a sliding board. I always will have one, even will travel with it, because you just never know when you're gonna need it. And yeah, Jay, I do have a transfer video, actually on here on the Live to Roll channel.
Oh,
Highly encourage you to check it out.
yeah. If you
It's
go
a
to
good one.
the playlist that's quadriplegic transfers, you'll see mine and Tom's transfers. And I'm trying to get like Bobby and some others to also get some more, and we'll get some, maybe Tom getting some other transfers in there too for some maybe a hotel bed or something different. But yeah, Tom's video is in there, so check that out. And I think it's like literally the second one in the playlist if you go to that playlist. Um,
Um, Jay also said, obviously he's healthy, but after a few beers, the spasms calm right down, baby. Let's go. Yeah, dude. Alcohol comes, I think, at too high a cost with the poison that's putting in your body. Um, shit. Sometimes I'm taking a shot just to take the edge off myself. Just some might not consider that medicine. I would make the argument that in that moment it certainly was. But I'd say it's a real, you're dancing with the devil, at least I think with alcohol a lot of the time because it is so highly addictive. Alcoholism is such a serious disease that too many people struggle with. Um, Even a lot of people like my family and stuff have struggled with it, have like been very close to it. And um, I think, yeah, and this isn't just alcohol either. You can become addicted to anything. You can become addicted to food. You can become addicted to sex, weed, exercise, sunshine, the beach, video games, you name it. You can become addicted to it. This is where mindfulness comes in. Mindfulness and moderation. Understand that too much of anything, even if it's a good thing, can become a bad thing because that's what excess does to us. I try to be mindful of everything in my life, especially marijuana, because it's something I rely on for relief, but also I know it comes at a cost of certain health risks and also a risk of being addicted to it. And having negative consequences come as a result of that. And the way that I try to stay mindful is try to be self-aware of how much I'm using, how I'm using it, why I'm using it, the reasons I'm using it. Um, Certainly, I use it for recreational purposes. It's legal. I have every right to do so, but I also use it for a lot of medicinal purposes as well to relieve spasticity, to manage pain in a way that doesn't rely on other drugs. I also have conversations with my friends and my family about it. I try to be as transparent about it as possible with the close people in my life, in regards to like how much I use and what I use, and it's not just marijuana, but everything that I use in my life. And I think that's um, a, a big part of it of staying mindful is being able and willing to have a conversation about it, and also like conversation with people that you love and trust who can be honest with you about it as well. um, and yes, I sunshine lol. I was just thinking like those ladies that like are addicted to tanning beds that like just like are
No,
burning themselves, like getting deep fried in the sunshine. Yeah, hey, I'm addicted to the sun too. Like I'm a turtle. I try to be put on sunscreen and stuff nowadays just because I do worry about skin cancer and like taking care of my skin as much as possible. But
no, but like you said, addicted to anything, anything in excess is maybe not great, and that includes sunshine. But Jay says addicted to live to roll videos. That one you can do as much as you want. No, you might want to take a break occasionally if you're. But hey, an hour or two a
there's a
day,
lot of there's a lot of great content out there. I'm not
there
saying
is a
don't
lot.
watch every literal video, but also, like spread the love around too. There's a lot of other awesome content creators that offer a different perspective and a lot of insight that maybe we don't always hit.
Yeah, no, definitely. And wheelchair Raver said you sound like his dad, but everything in moderation, and that's pretty much what. Yeah, everything in moderation. Balance to life is. We've talked about that too a bunch of times on show, and that's includes balance in diet, balance in everything.
And y'all, like I've said it here on the show before, and I'll say it again. Like I'm a self-aware hedonist. Like I enjoy the finer things in life, maybe a little bit too much sometimes, in the way of like excess and pleasure and things like that. And just try your best. Like I try not to be a hypocrite on here. Like I truly promise that. Like I'm not spewing lies or anything, but I smoke a little bit too much weed sometimes. I certainly drinking too much sometimes. You know, had one on a couple days in a row here and there. Like I make mistakes. I I lean into excess on occasion. Um, I just try my best to keep myself healthy and stay super self-aware of it all. Um, I think it's just important to try to do.
No, it definitely is. I agree for sure. And there was one more. Oh yeah, Leon asked if insurance companies have ever covered cannabis. Not that I'm really aware of, but I don't think so. But you can look it up and see.
Well, I know that there are some compassionate patient programs
That yeah,
that provide cannabis to particularly disabled individuals. If you can verify and prove you have a disability, they'll provide you a certain amount regularly, especially if you live in a legal state. I think they can send it right to your door. I do know of the existence. I can't name any off the top of my head, but we've had some guests in the past mention that and speak on
no,
it.
I think um, Alice from Rolling Stone, who we haven't had them
Yeah,
on in quite a while, but there are some really great people. I think they recently moved to Oregon from California, and I believe they got compassionate care stuff here. And I've seen them post that they are also now getting it in Oregon. And I think that's just a matter of reaching out to like the farms and different, like they're the ones that are like giving it direct, almost like from the director, the dispensary or the farm. But yeah,
So I don't think most insurances do because it's still like a Schedule One drug or whatever. It's not. There may be medicinal forms of cannabis that are FDA approved and processed. There might be something that exists now in the way of like cannabis pills or cannabidiol pills or something that you might be able to get prescribed and over the counter, but I don't know exactly. I don't know for sure, and I don't
well,
want to speak
Leon
out of turn.
actually mentioned here they cover a portion. Where is here? Where are you living, and how do
He
you get?
said earlier, I think he said earlier it was like Michigan or Minnesota.
Oh, that's
You
right.
can
he said
scroll up.
Minnesota. That's right. I think it was.
Minnesota. Um, and that's dope. That's dope. I haven't really asked my insurance for it. Here, let me speak on this. Um, I saw an ENT, ear, nose, and throat doctor. It's like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. And I thought it was really important to be transparent about my smoking on there because it was my ear, nose, and throat doctor and
Yeah.
smoking effects all through those areas. And I want to be dishonest with my doctors, especially highly encourage all of you guys to be fully transparent with your doctors. They're not there to be your enemy or to, you know, judge you or anything. So it's your best interest to be honest, I think. But this story kind of goes against maybe being honest. So I don't know the point of it, but I was honest about my smoking and they gave me like a printout of like my patient record and under illegal drugs it said illegal drugs, cannabis, marijuana. And I was like, yo, first of all, it's legal here in the state of California, for one. It has been for almost the better part of a decade. Now there's like a permanent medical record that says illegal drugs with my name on it, cannabis under that. I was like, what the fuck? And it really kind of bothered me. I was like, ugh, that doesn't make me feel good about being honest and transparent. I still am. You can label me what you want. I don't really care, but obviously I care a little bit. Just thought it was kind of.
No, I know that sucks to have them like right in there, but and that's what you would think that they would know in California at the very least that it's a
Hey Leon, it is the best thing I found for my spasms and my muscle tightness as well.
yeah, same.
And in combination with stretching and exercise, like I do physical therapy regularly and stuff. I try to like do like maintain like certain stretching and exercise too, and that helps in conjunction with it. But few things provide as instantaneous relief for me as like smoking does.
So I'll be
Reality.
transparent right now. Right now, I can feel my body tightening up like bad, and so if I do a few weeks ago on our show, I almost fell out of my chair from a spasm. I can feel my like I don't know if you get this or not, if anybody in the chat does, but and this wasn't my whole injury. This has been like the last couple of years more. My abdominal muscles will tighten and clench so tight, like like they're like flexing, like they're squeezing my insides. And so I try. That's one of the things I'm doing when I'm moving is blood pressure. But some of the smaller rocking and moving is literally trying to break up a little bit of spasm that's like happening in my core right now. So if I do fly out of jump anywhere, I'm just letting you guys know. Like it's something that we deal with all the time. Like I'm dealing with right now in the moment. And I took two gummies before. I took like a 20 milligrams of right before the show. So
I feel like sometimes I got to get my spasms out. Like mine
yeah,
build up like that too. Where and that's really what it feels like is. And this is how I imagined it. This is like the metaphor in my head. I feel like our legs and our body still has the same amount of energy as it did before, but it can't express that energy because we're paralyzed. So I feel like over time of like not moving, it like builds up. And it's
that's
almost like a rubber band. Like finally the energy builds up and it snaps. And for us, it just snaps and releases and like this uncontrolled muscle spasticity. And sometimes I can feel the tension building up, just like Shawn mentioned right now. Like you can feel it. It's like a tightness or like something like almost even hard to articulate. It's feels like it's like this neuropathy, nerve feeling, tightness, like build up in my body. At least that's how it is for me. Now, when I know that I got a big spasm, especially if I got to transfer something, I'll try to trigger it so that I get it out before where I'm in like some semblance of control. So, like for me, like leaning back in my chair, reclining back can trigger my spasticities. Leaning a certain way, I can trigger my spasms. And then once my spasms are triggered, I also control them to a certain extent, meaning like I can hook under my knee, and if I can get my legs to flex, like that'll usually like end the spasm for me. Sometimes mine are like Sean's, where they kick so hard, like my abdomen constricts so tight in conjunction with my legs spasming and kicking that like I'm in full loss of control over my body. Like
Yeah.
even if I wanted to fight, like they're fighting too hard against me, I don't even have the power to like overcome that. But I've gained some control over my tough spasms just by recognizing that feeling, either smoking a little bit, doing a little something, or even triggering my spasms in kind of a controlled way to get some of that energy out, some of those spasticities out, and then the ones that come later are not as intense. Um,
So no, I
I
do the
don't know.
same thing too, dude. Like I will, if I can feel it building up sometimes, I will like kick my feet kind of off my foot plate and let them kick out and spasm. Usually, I'll try to like slowly with like minimal movement get myself to where I'm like what used to happen a lot of times when we were doing in-person support groups. I'd sit for that full hour support group, and by the end of it, my body is ready to like just go. But I shouldn't be embarrassed, but I would feel like, like I didn't want to draw all the attention to me flailing around all crazy at the end of a group. So I would typically be like, I'm gonna go to the restroom real quick and like slowly push myself to the restroom, get in there, and just let my body go wild for a minute. Like, and then compose myself, get my feet back set up on the chair. Like, okay, I got it out of the system. Now I'll roll, and I'll still have some spasticity, but it's a lot more mild and just like little things, not like that full body where I'm like sent back or sent forward. My legs are just trying to run and I do all kinds of crazy stuff. So that is one of the things that I for sure do too.
Shout out one of my best buddies in the chat, Ben Tipton. Dropping some really great resources for getting access to some flour that you can get through your mail. Check out maybe some of that Secret Nature CBD company out of Oregon. I think that's really cool. And Ben said it. If he can get it in Alabama, bet your bottom dollar you can probably get it anywhere in the USA, baby. Um, what was I gonna say? Plan spasms, quad superpower. Yo, Leon, like it's for real, dude. Like also sometimes I use my spasticity to my advantage. Like sometimes dressing or like little things. Like if I can trigger a spasm and my legs in the right position, it'll like kick through my pant leg that I'm trying to get it through, and like really help me like get my leg in, like the pant hole that I'm trying to do, or even transferring and stuff. Like I've been able to trigger spasms that'll like give me a little bit of an extra oomph when I push, and things like that. Um, and my spasms talk to me too. They give me a lot of information about my body. I don't know, like that being embarrassed thing. This was the worst for me when I was in college, or even in high school. I'd take tests sometimes, and it'd be like hour and a half long periods. So, I'd be sitting there for a while, kind of tense, hunched over my lap, like writing. And after an hour, I'd always get a real intense spasm built up. And I'm talking like a nice minute long one, like my legs kick out, fully shaking, and it would be a silent room. Everyone would be taking a test, like 30 or 40 people. And all of a sudden, my legs would start spasming, and they would shake against my foot plates. So it'd be this like loud metal, like like just incessantly. And everybody would stop, get distracted, look up, and stare at me. sometimes the teacher would be like, Tom, are you okay? I'm like, yes, I'm fine. My legs are just shaking. Let me be. Finish your test, people. But it was just like nothing to be embarrassed about, but just by nature of the circumstance, like, and people not really understanding what is exactly going on, it was kind of an embarrassing moment for me. That happened many, many, many times. Um, so, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Now, I remember that happening when I was going to school when I was a little younger and earlier in my injury. And yeah, and in class was also definitely feels a little bit embarrassing because at least in a support group and things, everybody understands. They're like, oh, he's just going wild, damn. But in a class like that, they are just kind of like, they don't know what to think or say. But so I get that for sure, man. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, so we're getting kind of near the end. I know earlier on, Leah actually had a kind of just a fun question for not a disability fully related, but who would for both of us who would our dream guest be on here? If we could have somebody come on here, and I'll be honest, there's one person that had a spinal cord injury that I've always wanted to invite, and that's ex football player. Pittsburgh Steeler Ryan Shazier. He sustained like a lower, I think like a low T level SCI on the field, and he's made a really good recovery. He walks, but he started a foundation, does a bunch of stuff, um, like not fully in the disability community, but I think he is trying to raise money and do things, being more aware now. And I've always thought about reaching out to him, just because he's just such a me being a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and I was a huge Ryan Shazier. I just was a personal fan of his before the injury. That's who I personally would invite because yeah, somebody with a SCI and also just somebody I would want to meet and talk to.
Part of the reason we do the wiggle. I like that comment too. And before the chat ends, I want to say thank you to all for you guys for bringing Live to Roll to us. My nurse informed me about it. I find it extremely helpful. Well, we appreciate you, Leon. I do certainly, and shout out to your nurse too for sharing Live to Roll with you. That's super awesome. Who would my dream guest be? I've already had my dream guest on, or what I would have considered a dream guest, like
Was that
the
Mia?
Push Girl. The Push Girls were big just because it was like a show that was like a big inspiration for me, like moving out and like figuring out what independent life might look like for me as a quad, like Angela specifically. It was like a quad that like lived and did it. But like the whole squad, I mean, we haven't had Tiffany on, but um, the it was super cool, super cool. Um, to get to meet them, talk to them. Zach was also another quad that I knew about just because he got kind of like Reddit and like internet famous, like through some videos, kind of similar to like what Live to Roll does. And I like followed him for a couple of years, just like personally, because I thought he was an interesting dude, spreading the good word about living life with disability. And then we had him on the show. I was like, hey, I know this guy. That's kind of crazy. And I always just like text or whatever. I was like, hey, that's cool. I was like, thought you were like a famous internet quad. Um, I would love to talk to Christopher Reeves. That'd be my
If
number.
we would have got that chance, that would have been.
But yeah, we have to like do a seance or something, break out the Ouija board if we want to do that. But maybe his wife or one of
That's
his
yeah.
kids. I think that'd be like dream guest for me because Superman was a big inspiration for me growing up. Like reading his autobiography and just him being a notable individual that was trying to not only do a lot for the community, kind of set the standard with his foundation, the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation, but also being like a positive example of someone living life with disability. Um,
We're
there's
all those were all really good guests and really
there's a
cool,
couple
awesome.
other cool disabled individuals, but honestly, like everyone we have on is almost on par with those guests, and I I don't know. I love everyone that we've had a chance to talk to, and everyone I've had the chance to meet. Y'all are dream guests to me. Um, but yeah.
Yeah, man, those are all really cool. Um, and actually, that was see, I didn't get super like into the Push Girls when it was on. I think I was still a little bit newer in my injury, and I was kind of like still not wanting to be like I was still sort of a little bit guarded from like the disability community and really like embracing and like being part, like that was early on when I just but I
It
loved having
it
them on now. Yeah, no, it's so cool that we've gotten to have three of the four of them on. So
I don't know. It was honestly the there was like the first exposure to real spinal cord injury in the media for me. I had never seen anybody portrayed in anything other than Drake in Degrassi when he got like shot and became a paraplegic, and like they portrayed him in a few episodes as a spinal cord injury. And I remember watching that and being like, all right, this is kind of cheesy and weird. But then I saw an advertisement for that show on some like IFC or like Sundance Channel or something, and we didn't have the channel, but I thought it was really interesting, and I was just really interested in like the way they advertised it was just like showing how like quads and pairs like live independently, and it
really,
was yeah, I was like 13 or 14, and I was like, yo, dude, how I gotta watch this like, and it really did like seeing particularly like another higher level quadriplegic go through the spasms and deal with the caregiving bullshit every day and like the struggle and I don't know, even introducing topics like dating and stuff like that. It was eye opening for me. And it also gave me a lot of inspiration at a time where I didn't have a lot of disabled community, meaning like I didn't have Shawn or Bobby or these other homies in my life. Like I was like 10, 12 years paralyzed, but really nobody I knew was in the disabled community. So seeing this example very realistically portrayed in kind of like like a reality show way, it did inspire me a lot. I'm telling you, like when I saw Angela like living independently and doing it, I was like, yo, I was like, I could do that. Like I could like literally see myself doing that. And here I am, 11 years later, having done it. A big thanks to some of the inspiration I got from that. So when that all came together and like we got a chance to like meet them and talk to them, kind of still trips me out. Um, but it also, it's so important to me. That's why Live Roll is so important to me too. If somebody can see these videos and see our example, hopefully I think it's a positive one, and learn and garner some inspiration, maybe like see like, oh, if these guys can do it, then I can definitely do it, and it's just so important to me because that example changed my life.
yeah, dude, no, that's really cool, and it was honestly awesome to have them on, and I should try to reach out to both Angela and Mia for sure, um, see if they would like to maybe come back on, and because those were both a little while ago, and they're both really great people and still active in the community. I saw Mia maybe like a year ago at an Infinite Flow dance thing because that's when she came on with to talk about that. And yeah, they're still I think both very very active and helping people in the community. So that's cool that they had such an inspiration on you, dude. I honestly want to go back and maybe download and watch those seasons because I never really did watch them when they were on. I watched parts of them and stuff and saw clips, but um, again, I was kind of shying away from stuff. Chair life, yeah, like I'm putting thing. It takes time to warm up with people with disabilities. Like it did take me a while. At first, I just wanted to spend time with my friends, my family, um, and that wasn't like I didn't really have wheelchair friends at that time. Now, pretty much most of my good friends are in wheelchairs. So, and all the people I'm closer to. So it just does change over time. But
I mean, some of my best people are still able-bodied people. Some of them are,
yeah,
wheelchairs too. Like I think it's really important for everyone to be a positive example if you can be. Um, I think it's really important to see positive examples of disability portrayed in media, especially. We've seen a little bit of a transformation, I'd say, in the last 5 years of like disabled actors and disabled media and things like that. But I don't know, like it's most of what we consume, and I don't know, I think a lot of times we define ourselves based on some of what we consume and stuff, and at least like we let that those ideas and things inspire us and guide us, and it did for me. I I don't see anything like that on TV now. I wonder how many other disabled individuals who, you know, might be inspired by something like that don't necessarily have the opportunity to. YouTube's great, and there's a lot of great content on YouTube now, and I think that's becoming like more standard. Um, but I think it's just a testament to the importance of portraying people with disabilities in a positive way, because it could have an important effect on the individuals who see it.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. And it is nice that they are having more portrayal in like TV and movies and things, but I think having that kind of reality show where really showing somebody living their life is really cool and beneficial. Do you know anything about rolling nurses? I think one is Patty Cruz, Black Olive, but I actually don't know what that is. But
I'll have to check it out. That
but
seems kind of cool. Is it like disabled nurses?
I know that's what I was wondering. Let us know in the chat if you can, Black Olive, Olivia. And
I know our friend Amber was going to nursing school and she's a paraplegic.
I know that's what a couple
Um,
people, and even yeah, I know a few people that have been going, and even Ryan was going to become a what's it called, like be able to blood draw, do blood draws,
phlebotomist, a
Phlebo-
phlebotomist.
phlebotomist. Yes,
Uh,
I don't know
I
what
love
happened.
that. I would say when I gotta go get blood, I'm about to go get phlebotomized, like lobotomized,
Phlebo-
phlebotomized. Sorry, I had to say that dad joke. I think it's one of my favorites.
I
Um,
like it.
I think it's really cool. I mean, I love to check out the Rolling Nurses thing because if only for the purposes of educating other nurses on how to deal with patients with chronic disabilities and stuff, I'll tell you what, like, my mom's a nurse. She kind of sets the standard for me because she's the greatest nurse in the world, I'm convinced. But also, like, I've had a lot of interaction with more nurses than I can count, whether they're home health nurses or hospital nurses, in between, like nurses, aides to doctors, and things like that. And some of their etiquette and their protocol with dealing with people with disabilities is crazy and not very professional and not very great. I think having representation, especially like nurses with disabilities, it's super important. If only on the basis of like educating other nurses, but also like providing meaningful perspective and showcasing how anybody in any situation can do pretty much any job these days, given the right tools and opportunity and setup and experience.
Yeah, no, I think that's awesome to see. So if that is out there, she said she's gonna message us. So I'll look forward to that message. I'm curious what that is. Maybe we'll try to share something on the channel too. All right, since we're getting over an hour here now, let's go ahead and thank sponsors. You want to switch today? You can do Mobility Pros. I'll do Urology.
If you are lucky enough to be in beautiful Southern California and you're looking for some durable medical equipment, namely wheelchairs, Hoyer lifts, shower chairs, standing frames, and the like, Mobility Professionals is your one-stop shop for anything and everything mobility equipment related. They are an awesome company, a great resource, can help get you the right equipment the first time, and work with you and your insurance in a meaningful way to help the process be easy.
Yeah,
Take it away, Shawn.
and their sister company, Urology Professionals, is actually a national company because everybody's got to pee. So if you do need catheters, you don't aren't getting your supplies, you're having issues with your supplier, or anything like that, or you're just not getting enough, um, give them a call, see if they can help you get some more. They also are super friendly and helpful. If they can send you samples even just to try, or if you are just low, just to help you get through a little period. Um, Nice people. They contribute a lot to the local community here, and just a great company all around. So look them up, check them out. Information is down below in the description. So check it out and give them a call. All right.
Uh,
So
Lee, just a little quick comment. I'm a
yeah,
licensed therapist, dudes. Grad degree in rehabilitation psychology, teaching at UNC Chapel Hill Med School. It is so good for us to be seen in positions that are professional and serving. And yo, echo that sentiment. It is super important to see individuals with disabilities portrayed in a positive and respected light. Absolutely. So thank you for doing your part, Lee. And you hear that message, world? Shine some light on some cool ass disabled people, because it's important for everyone to see that.
yeah, no, that
Um,
is incredible. Really cool. Awesome, Lee. Uh,
um, Leon, peace and love, bruh.
yeah,
Peace
see,
and love
take
to
care,
everybody.
everybody. Hope everybody does have
Caroline.
a great weekend. We
Yo,
are
real quick,
also shows.
the
I was going to
party,
say, what?
the party continues right after this live. T
So,
Fizzle's gone live, doing some adaptive gaming.
but
I wasn't able to last night, but feeling a little more up to it this evening. So I'm gonna take a crack at it for a couple hours. If anybody wants to join, I will be on. We're gaming, we're chatting, we're hanging out, we're continuing to hang. We are gaming. It's more than just that, though. If you want to come and talk about whatever, it's kind of a free form space to just chat and chill. And also, if you're into gaming, we're doing that too. So let's go.
yeah, exactly. So check that out, guys. Normally on Wednesdays, but check it out today. Probably around 5. So if you need to take a break, go pee, get some food, whatever you got to do that, and then join in on the gaming
And
chat in a
yeah,
little bit.
we're talking like probably a 5 minute break. I'm gonna try to do a quick turnaround here. So
Okay. Well, then, a little bit early gaming on the Thursday here, you guys. Make sure to check it out. Be fun. Stay tuned. Stay hanging out with the Live to Roll crew, and just make sure to come back every week. We do have a whole gambit of shows. I'm just gonna run through them super fast. So on Mondays we have more gaming with Hell Wheels. So join him if you want to check that out a little bit more. Just hang out, talk, join the community. Tuesday, we'll be back again with another live Live to Roll. Uh, Next week, still working on the show because I am still leaving vacation that day, so still trying to figure that out. But make sure to join us every Tuesday at 3:30. We do have actually some really great guests lined up for next month, and it should be some really fun shows. So make sure to tune in, check us out every Tuesday, and then
can I do a cooking show next Tuesday on the main show? And we'll like do a little teaser for our upcoming Friday show. We'll
that
talk about it.
might be
We'll talk.
possible, yes. So that actually might be a good idea to fill in for a Tuesday because we have been planning to do some Tom cooking shows as well. And then again, next Wednesday, tune back in for another gaming with Tom on the Wednesday. We got, and then Thursday next week we will have Rolling with the Golden Oldies. So stay tuned. The ladies are going to be sharing their experience. That is the most experienced show we have between the four of them. They have over 150 years of experience, I believe, which is just crazy. So it's a lot of experience from a lot of amazing ladies that are willing to share and help out with whatever you guys need. And then we also have Rolling Over the Hill second and third Thursdays. And on the third Thursday, we will have Wheel Girl Talk with Nikki, Ashley, Brianna, Maya, and Jessica. So make sure to tune in, check it out, and lots of great content for you guys on the Live to Roll channel. And tune in for Tom's cooking shows. We are going to be trying to get those going here soon. So you might get a preview on Tuesday. We will see if we get that worked out.
Everyone's got to eat. Everyone's
Everyone's,
got to cook. I'm just saying. I'm
this is
just
true.
saying. Even if you're quad, even if you got a disability. Um, love it. Love you guys. Love everybody.
Live to Roll,
Um,
everybody. We'll see you
people.
guys next week.
Throw
Or
in the
actually,
coolers.
soon. Tune back in and hang out with Tom. Quick here. All right, everybody.
Yeah.
Have a great
5 10
weekend.
minutes.